All right, welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here from bullwaves.org. Welcome back to the weekend. It's not even the weekend. It's Thursday, so tomorrow is the weekend technically. But anyway, I'm getting to this video early. It's probably feeling a bit itchy. I needed to get a video out. It's been a while. So back to normal service, back from holidays, back into whatever it is we do here. Analyzing the markets from the point of view of technical analysis, more specifically Elliott wave analysis. And on that note, if you are interested in nightly Elliott wave analysis, head to bullwaves.org and get on there, check out the membership. And if you want to see what the membership actually is, I will show you right now. Okay, here is a nightly update. This is from the other night. I usually, this is in the members area, so you head over to members area, and usually, unless I completely mess things up, which I have done in the past, usually there is a nightly update there waiting for you. And here is Tuesday night's update. Usually start with a couple of charts that I've seen throughout the day that I find interesting. And then I get into the running patterns that are, the operating patterns within each market. So I start with euro dollar. I go through the dollar FX usually, then start with euro dollar, give you the short-term pattern, the 4-hour pattern, the daily pattern, just so you can kind of orientate yourself within what's happening here. Then I give a blurb on what happened during the day and what to expect tomorrow. So you can see there, pound dollar, same thing. Each of the charts are expandable as well, so you can click into them and see what is going on a larger chart. Again, give a little my thoughts on the action of the day, go through the Dow, gold, crude oil, S&P, all the charts that I do on the weekend updates, plus a few more at the end tagged on for kind of, let's say, roundabout, a more rounded market view. Okay, so that is an example of the nightly Elliott wave charts, and if you're interested in that, check out the membership and join, and I'll see you tonight or tomorrow night or whenever it is that you see this video and you go off and you purchase a membership. Okay, let's get into the I was going to say the weekend update, but this is Thursday. It's almost weekend, and it's summertime, so everything's happening early. So here we go. Here's euro dollar again. Longer term, been looking for a bottom to form in a B wave. Go to the daily chart here. Bottom to form in a B wave. Haven't got that just yet. We're getting there, but not quite just yet. When we do get there, we'll get a nice round, nice solid rally followed by a higher low. A 1-2 rally off the low, and that will give us let's say a hint towards what's happening in the larger pattern, and that will suggest that we are about to rally. And if I am correct here, then euro dollar will probably rally as a recession is confirmed. I can't really pinpoint that either. It's historically that's kind of what's happened. Let's say in 08, 09, that's what happened anyway. Okay, here we go. This is the hourly chart. Still kind of looking for that final fifth wave low in green here, and once we do, let's say, pinpoint that low, let's say we fill this channel again, we can create 5 waves down, we fill the channel, and we get an indication that wave 5 in green is complete, and then we can look higher again to see if that big wave C will begin. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. I think we'll probably get another 5 wave dip to a new low below 99.50 again. Who would have thought we'd be looking at parity in euro dollar? But here we are. I remember when it was 150 or 145 and 150 a few years back, and everyone was shouting about the dollar dying and get out of the dollar and buy the euro, and of course it was the wrong time to buy the euro. And now is the wrong time to buy the dollar. Okay, anyway. Longer term, that's if you're longer term. Let's move on. Here's cable. Again, it's like a 3-4-5 pattern that I'm watching for a reversal on. I'm not quite sure we're there yet either. We'll finish a wave 1 down. and then we'll begin 3 waves up in a wave 2 once that final wave 1 low is complete. Here's the hourly chart on that. Again, it's a possible 4th and 5th wave scenario here. So we have wave 3 in place and ABC running flat, correction wave 4, and then head lower in a 5th wave. Now, there is the possibility that wave 5 is already in here, and if that's the case, then we won't see a new low below 117.59. We'll actually see a new rally, but we do have contingency for that. If we break above this wave 1 low here at 121.70, if we break that, then I'd be willing to contemplate the low in place for this larger pattern. Until then, I think we'll just work out this final 5 waves down here to complete wave 5, and then look higher. Okay, let's see how this goes. Here's dollar yen. I'm kind of dipping my toe in the water on the bearish side in dollar yen this week. Possible 1-2 pattern. Yesterday I was looking for a rally in a slight rally to complete 3 waves up in wave 2, a lower high, and then a spike lower to begin wave 3. And so far so good. You can't confirm anything at this point just yet. I'm full of caveats today, but so far we do seem to have a 3-wave pattern higher and a lower high, and then a spike off that lower high. So, early indications being that another candidate is now rising for a let's say a topping pattern in dollar yen. Finally, let's go out to the 4-hour chart here. Here would be wave 5 of wave 3, and then we'd head lower in wave 4. So overall, heading probably back towards that previous 4th wave low around 126 again, which is quite substantial. It's what's that? 10 cents off the tick there, so it's 1,000 points. So the idea being that we get 3 waves down in a 4th wave back towards that 126 level, and then head off again into a 5th wave. So obviously it's very early days, can't confirm nothing just yet. I'd say if we get a break of this previous shoulder here, this was a triangle. If we do break the edge of that triangle, 135 area, I'd be much more confident that we are actually heading lower into wave 4 there. For the moment, let's see if we get 5 waves down to at least indicate that a reversal is happening. That's that 135 level there, the previous 4th wave. So we'd look for a break of that first of all. Okay, let's move on. Here is the Dow. This is the 4-hour count in the Dow. We got a confirmation of the alternate count there for wave 2 today, or not today, the other day. So we seem to have 3 waves up. Not quite sure whether this channel is, or this correction in wave 2 is complete yet. The action off this high has not been, let's say, ideal towards beginning wave 3 yet, but this is a wave 3 of 3 of 3, as you can see here. So it's a substantial this is indicating a substantial loss dead ahead. So I would be at least, how would you say, willing to allow the correction plenty of time in the second wave to play out. So at this point in time, it looks like we might have one little pop to complete a wave C of 2 here, and before we start heading lower into a third of a third of a third. And this third of a third of a third will be like I said, a substantial decline. And if I was to go to the daily count, where would I suggest that third of a third would go? I would suggest probably towards 25,000 again, because we have a substantial decline in, if we take a very rudimentary measuring stick here. Well, no, let's get a fib grid here. if we were to take the fib grid and extend it off this wave 2 high, well, the 100% extension of wave 1 would suggest about 28,000 for wave 3. 162% extension would be 25,670. So 25,600 would be where wave 3 would be targeted once we do get that third of a third decline. And don't rule it out, because things are not looking good right now. Okay, let's get back into the hourly count here, and I'll show you what I'm looking at here for the second wave. So here is how we have kind of ordered this pattern over the last few days. It seems to have been 3 waves up in wave A, 3 waves down in wave B, which was kind of, actually, I took, what was it, last week off, or the week before last off. So the action has been pretty sideways. So it was kind of good timing on my part to take a week off. So we did just track higher in 3 waves. We tracked lower in 3 waves, and then we moved higher now in 5 waves. Not quite sure if this 5th wave pattern is complete yet, as I had suggested. The decline has been more corrective, I would suggest, so far. I mean, we could easily turn bearish on this anyway. There's more time. If it does, accelerate lower, so be it. We'd look for wave 1 and wave 2 down. We'd look for more or less a retracement of all of this second wave here as wave 1 declines. So far, we've just we're holding kind of a shoulder here. Maybe we'll build a very small head and shoulders pattern here to complete this second wave. So we're going to get a left shoulder, a pop to a new high, then a right shoulder, and then build a 5 wave decline into wave 1. So I'm holding out, nailing my colors to the mast here just yet. So once we do kind of top out on this second wave, I'm not ruling it out. I have I have labeled it as complete. It has at least minimally reached, or let's say, reached the minimal target for the pattern to be complete. But I'm not sure whether the actual subwaves are complete here yet. We did actually hit this 62% retracement of wave 1 in wave 2. So we've got a complete pattern, 62% retracement hit, and then at least a momentum slowdown. If we haven't seen the pattern reversal yet, but one should follow the other eventually anyway. Okay, so I would look for at least this second wave to complete this week, and then next week I would look for 5 wave decline into wave 1 of 3. And if that comes along, then it will be sayonara stock market, or sayonara peace and safety, as they say. Okay, here is, where am I going? No, this, gold. Okay, this is the 4-hour count gold. I was looking for as we did realize a few weeks ago, the wave C of 4 idea came into play here rather than the wave 1 and 2 that we had been working with previously. And we spilled lower in a pretty substantial manner. There's no point in trying to rosy the picture here. It's been a pretty catastrophic loss for gold over the last few months, 3 or 4 months. All of these losses have been achieved against the backdrop of runaway inflation. So this should burst the bubble completely that gold is essentially an inflation hedge. It is not essentially an inflation hedge. I think gold is essentially a chaos hedge. So if chaos enters the market, which I think it will sooner rather than later, gold would probably be your best bet. And we are severely oversold here, both on a daily. We've got a double bottom, extreme oversold situation here on the daily chart. So I think gold is probably, it's time to start picking, the lows in gold. We're almost at, let's say, the extreme lows of the correction over the last few years. We have the highs in August 2020, or not August, around August 2020 with the highs. We have a 3-wave pattern almost complete here. Wave C is closing out in a 5th wave. We're as close, if you're not a bottom picker, if you're willing to see lower lows and just continue to buy around the lower lows, I think this is probably a good time for you to do that. I'm contemplating doing that myself now. We haven't quite hit that 1660 low. So on the daily count here, you can see a possible low for wave A there at about 1660. So we haven't quite hit that low yet. We could have that in us in the next couple of weeks. So I think we're close to a low here. Even if this is a fourth and a fifth wave, we head lower, we break that 1660 low, we fill this downward channel on the hourly count here. Then we'll have 5 waves down, done, a full pattern. As we go out the counts, as we go out the wave count, from degree to degree, we'll have a fuller and fuller pattern. So the low is coming. The low is probably pretty close, and I suppose you can mark my words on that. It's the 21st of July, 2022. So unless gold goes to 1,000, then I think we're pretty safe to say that we're pretty close to a significant low now in gold, and I will be looking for a bottom over the next couple of weeks. Okay. Crude oil, the correction continues. This week I've been working on this ABC pattern up in wave 2, so a fuller decline. Let's go into the 4-hour count. I think we can track a pretty clear 5-wave decline in wave into the recent lows in wave 1, and I'll be looking for a 3-wave pattern higher in wave 2 to unfold over the next, it is unfolding, but 3 waves to complete over the next week or so in wave 2. So if we are to, let's say if we were to put a target on that right now, if you're going to pin me to the ropes and tell me to call a target, I won't. I'll just ask Mr. Fibonacci here to give me a target. I would suggest probably about 104, 105 towards the 110 area again. So between 50 and 62% for wave 2 to complete. I think that's a reasonable target for 3 waves up in wave 2. So let's get into the hourly count here. Okay, we've got, I think, 3 waves up in wave A done. Called it, the pattern pretty much called a top on that earlier on in the week. We've got 3 waves down to begin wave A. You could, I mean, the decline has gone far enough. I was looking for about 95 for the overall decline in wave B. The decline so far off the initial high in wave A is large enough to suggest that maybe even wave B is done right now. We'll see how that goes. So for the moment, I'm not going to rule out a larger 3-wave pattern in wave B. So maybe we get a flat pattern here, 3 down in A, 3 up in B, and then 5 down in C. So more or less over the next week or so, we get sideways action into a new higher low, and then we rally again in wave C. While on the, let's say, on the alternate side, we could say that maybe wave B is already complete, and we're going to rally now in wave C. If that's the case, then we head towards 50%. We head towards about 105, and once 105 comes in, then I would look for a top in wave C, and then a reversal down into wave 3. So that's the kind of short-term outlook in crude oil anyway. So it looks like sideways to higher over the next week or so. We could probably say 2 weeks, I'd say. So towards the end of July. Okay, here is the S&P. Pretty similar pattern in the S&P, a larger corrective move higher in wave 2. I could probably at this point in the S&P, I've been working at a lower degree in wave count, but I could probably at this point move it higher. I have been reluctant to do that, I suppose, but for the moment, I'm going to keep it as it is. It doesn't actually change the outlook substantially at all. So we've got a possible 1 and 2 building here. At whatever degree you want to actually look at that is up to you. We'll go to the hourly count here. So here is this wave 1 low in pink, and then an ABC pattern higher in wave 2. Again, the we've got the, let's say, the minimum expected target for wave C would be a break of the A wave, and we've got, you know, a ballpark, you know, strike on the 62% retracement. Not quite there, but close to it. Not quite sure if we're done here yet. Maybe we, just like the Dow, maybe we get a spike to fill the channel, and then we fall again. We spill down again in wave 3 of 3. That may be ahead of us. I'm not sure. I think suffice to say that we've got a 3-wave pattern higher. We've got a substantial lower high. We've got a fib target more or less in the ballpark, with a possibility of a third of a third decline, you know, staring us in the face. And I know I've been looking at that third of a third decline for the last few weeks, but, you know, as this corrective pattern kind of just meandered its way sideways, which I suppose was expected, you know, as this is the summer season and the holiday season. Here we are, we're at the end of the pattern. The next suggested motion for the market is to kind of spill lower into another type of a waterfall decline in a third of a third. So I would be watching out for that to begin most likely next week, actually, because we're close enough to completing this 3 waves up right now. You know, we still have Friday ahead of us. I mean, we might pop into Friday and then we might head lower to begin next week. So that's the idea here. Okay, let's move on. This is the silver count. We're pretty close to a low, like I was saying in gold. We're pretty close to a low here in silver. We're not quite there yet. I don't think we will. I think gold will probably bottom before silver, but I do think the opportunity in silver is probably larger, to be quite honest. We have a daily count here. This is a wave 1 top back in February 2021. And then we have 3 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, and then 5 waves down in C. It's a pretty solid pattern. Like overall, it's a home run of a pattern here. We've got 3 waves down. It's a flat correction. We've basically retraced, you know, 62%, I think, of the overall rally in wave 1. Actually, let's get a well, first of all, wave C in blue here is now equaling wave A. So we've got 100% fulfillment on that. Let's say that target there where wave A and C would tend towards equality. And then let's get a fib target here. We've got more or less, we've just dipped below the 62% retracement on for wave 2 here in black. So, you know, the dominoes are lining up. We're hitting the targets one by one, and I think we are pretty close to a low here in silver right now. If we go to the 4-hour count here, you can see 5 waves down in wave C is, you know, all but complete. If we go to the hourly count here, you can see that it can probably, I am allowing for one more completed pattern lower to complete wave 5 of this wave 5 in red. So the 5th wave of the C wave has yet to complete, I think, internally, but that has yet to be kind of confirmed on that. If that's the case, then we will get a new break of 18, probably below 18 next week, towards that 1750 area for wave 3, a correction higher in wave 4, and then one last decline into wave 5 of 5 of 5 of C of 2. So if we go to the larger, there's wave 5 of C of 2, and here is wave 5 of 5 of this wave 5 in red. So as you can see, it's kind of building. The smaller pattern builds out into the larger pattern. So I am suggesting we may get another 5-wave pattern complete down around the $17 area, and before we, you know, build a substantial case for a rally in silver. Right now, I think we're probably capitulating. I don't see any news on gold or silver or precious metals at all across the, you know, let's say the financial news sphere. It's completely fallen off the radar. Nobody is interested in it. That's when I become interested in it. So I'm pretty much, you know, interested in silver and gold right now. Bitcoin, I'm not quite interested in Bitcoin yet. I do think that this meandering to the side has been nothing but a corrective pattern sideways. If you go to the 4-hour count here, we could be at 1 degree higher in wave 4 there. Maybe we have wave 3 complete. Not quite sure on that. I do think that we have a pretty severe sell-off to come in Bitcoin before any sort of a low will happen, and I think we'll break, back into the single thousands, back towards 6 or 8, maybe thousand in Bitcoin before we see a completion of this pattern, and maybe even lower. I know nobody wants to hear that, but well, the pattern was warning us, a long way back. We were closing out a 4th wave, and we did suggest that we would have a long 5th wave coming, and here we are. We're not quite there yet on this long 5th wave. We've basically meandered sideways and done nothing. I think this is a correction, probably wave 4 of 5, and then we'll head lower in wave 5 of 5. And then once everything has come off the boil and we fizzle out down around the bottom end of that channel there somewhere, then maybe we'll get interested in Bitcoin. Not right now, I don't think. Not right now. Okay, I'm going to move on to the Nasdaq. I usually fold out on the Nasdaq here. We were looking for a possible C-wave rally in wave 4. Not well. We fold out that 4-hour count there. We're getting close to it. I don't think we're complete just yet. But on the hourly count, you can probably suggest that we are close to complete. At least close to complete. Not quite there, but close. Again, the action has been quite corrective in the futures today and yesterday. It's looking toppy. We're getting close to a top. There might be one more pop to close out that channel before we drop again into a 5th wave down. At the moment, it looks like 3 waves up in A, and then A, B, C, D, and E, triangle wave B, and then possible 5-wave pattern unfolding here. You could label it this way, and I'm not against that at all. It could be wave 1, 2, 3, correction wave 4 now ongoing, pop in wave 5, probably towards 12,500 or 12,600, and then we drop again next week. So this week looks like, again, we'll be topping out a 4th wave and then falling into a 5th wave beginning next week. And in that sense, then there is a conjunction between the wider stock market and the tech, narrow tech market here. Okay, I think that is the end of it. As usual, I'd thank you all for watching, and anybody who's going to stay and watch the end here, maybe you're feeling convicted and you want me to tell you about the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ, not a religion, the bringer of not a religion, the bringer of a relationship. We broke our relationship. Humanity forsake its relationship with God through Adam and the sin of Adam, and we inherited that. So we were born into this world as sinners, as a fallen race, as losers of dominion. But Jesus came back and he lived the perfect life that nobody else could. And he spilled his blood, a blood sacrifice, in order to pay for the sin that we have all committed, right back down to the sin of Adam, pay for it all, live the perfect life, give the perfect sacrifice, God himself shedding his blood and giving it to you, that sacrifice to you. All you have to do is accept that sacrifice and say, Jesus, I accept that sacrifice. Father God in heaven, I accept that sacrifice to cover my sin and, to come back into a relationship again with God. There is only one way. There's only one name under the sun by which you can be saved, and that is Jesus Christ, our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ. The Son of God, also one with God. And if you know the Son, you know the Father. So I'm not opening up religion to anybody. This isn't religion. He didn't come here to give religion. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He didn't say go and, burn incense and wear robes and, walk around a big black box in Mecca. He didn't say anything like that. He didn't say, wash yourself in the Ganges. He didn't say any of these things. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. There is no way to the Father except through me. So you have to accept a relationship. You have to accept the sacrifice that he gave you. And if you don't accept it, it's up to you. I mean, you don't have to. Many billions of people don't. And they go shuffle off this mortal coil and they go straight into that holding cell called hell. And they wait for the great white throne judgment where God will judge you. And those who accept the sacrifice are not judged for their sin. They're judged for their works. That'll be the Bema Seat judgment. But that's a judgment of works after you have been you've received salvation. I'm getting too deep into it, but boil it down. We are sinners. We need a savior. We're all going to die, and you're all going to face God. And you either face it in your own filthy rags of your righteousness, as Isaiah said, our righteousness is filthy rags. We need the righteousness of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. And if you accept the righteousness of the Messiah, then you enter into relationship with God, and then you're going to enter into eternal life with confidence, and you are clothed in the righteousness of the Messiah, and you are received by God as a son rather than an enemy. And you won't be received then. You'll be treated as an enemy. If you reject the Son of God, then you reject God, and then God will reject you. So that is that. That is the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news of Jesus Christ. It's not a religion. You don't work your way up to God. You can't do that. As Ephesians, as St. Paul said in his letter to the Ephesians, Ephesians 2:8 and 9, salvation is by grace through faith. So by the grace of God, through your faith, you receive salvation, not by works, so that none can boast. You can't boast of your goodness or your greatness before God. And that's that. I think, Lord, have I done it? I think I've given the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the good news. If you hear gospel, people run away from that, but all it means is good news, and that's the good news of Jesus. And I think I always end on good news, so there you go. That's the good news. Admit you're a sinner, believe, and confess, and there you go. Okay, if you've stayed to the end of that, well done to you. Obviously, the Lord is tugging on your heart, and you need to hear that, and now it's up to you to do with it, to run with it. I would urge you to run with it, and go to God, and, I'll see you in heaven sooner rather than later. The end is coming. The end is nigh. Okay, right. This is going up on YouTube right now. Thank you all for being patient, and all of you emailing me wondering where I was. I'm still alive and back on YouTube, as long as God will allow it, until he comes and takes me. If that's next week, then I won't. I'll see you in heaven. If it's not, I'll see you on YouTube next week. All right. God's blessings to you. See you on. Oh yeah, if you come and join the website, I'll see you tonight on tonight's update. Okay. Good night. Bye bye.